let me introduce this guy real quick, right? Uh, this is a man that I'm bringing on to the show that has accomplished tons of things, tons of accomplishments that we all strive to do in our community, right? We all strive to have our be grand champs and our productions being. Oh, that's how you wave at people?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
you. I got you.
all right. There's some more on the top. Wave at them too, baby. All right. And so we all want to get these, these results, you know, and I want to, hey, dude, I want to sell. I don't want to sell $1,500 dog. I want to sell, uh, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 puppies. And how do I get there, right? Who's gonna teach who how to get there? And that's what this is all about, right? So just waiting for Robert Lee. Waiting for Robert Lee. Where you at, Robert Lee? Me.
Text him.
Yeah, let me text this guy.
So you did.
Yeah. So let's ask the question to the guys in the room. How long have you guys been breeding? Just go ahead and write it down in the comments. We get this man on this interview as soon as we can. Here we go. You join. All right. Dope. Hey, what's happening, Robert? So let me introduce this guy to you, okay? This is a man that I'm bringing on, like I said, that has accomplished much in our community, that has his own bloodline. I mean, a true bloodline. I mean, dogs in his pedigree that are nothing but his dogs. We're not talking about two dogs he bought and put together. That's long gone ago, you know? We're talking about a man who has won nationals with different dogs at different times, you know? We're talking about a man. There's other dogs on this that he has produced that are, I mean, top studs, and that have gone to other programs. I know this firsthand because I got a production. I'm running off a production of his Bullies, right? We're talking about, here we go. Hey, are you there? Yes, you are. Right on.
What up, bro?
What's happening? How you doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Just on another call, and I realized I seen the invite come, and I was like, oh, shit. It's go time.
It's go time. Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering when to start the introduction, but so like I was saying, you know, telling these guys that you're a man that has produced big top names in this community, that has a successful brand, that has you just started Bully Market University. You're successful on social media. I mean, we're talking. It looks pretty good out there on your side of the.
It's always the bull market, brother.
There you go. It's always a bull market. So everybody, Mr. Robert Lee, get this thing started. All right. So I did some, from what I know about you and whatnot, put some stuff to paper, and I got some questions for these guys, and I want these guys to learn. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's get it.
So we're talking about breeders, right? We're us as breeders. I mean, we strive to create something, right? Create a bloodline, not just a producer. We're talking about this one's son and the son of that dog and the son of that dog all have a name in the game. And you have 6 in a row, right? We're talking about this grand champ lineage of yours. When did that start?
I started breeding in 2008, bro. And I acquired Homie from Dogtown Pits in 2008. And from there, I realized that, I had some other bullies, but once I acquired him, I realized that was what I really wanted to build around.
Okay.
And he was the first dog that I ever showed on my own. Up until that point, I had, like I said, a couple bullies, but I was using a handler to show my dogs. And then I decided to do it myself, and I showed Homie, and that was my very first time showing. And I was already bit by the bully bug, so to speak, but
Okay.
when I went out there and I showed with him, it definitely just kind of added fuel to the fire. And so, yeah, Homie in 2008 was kind of the one that kicked it off for me.
And why? What about Homie did you say, like, you know what? I'm gonna run with this dog, and I'm gonna go from this point forward, and everything be behind this. I'm just not gonna run with it no more. Why did you pick Homie?
Well, straight up, I was pretty new to, dog breeding and just, conformation and shows. I really didn't know that much. It was just something about his overall presence.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I had gotten some other dogs and I liked them. I had another male, but I was like, you know what? I want something that's a little bit better. I had a mentor, Big Richard Patterson, who was a confirmation judge, and he was the one doing some of my handling for me. And so I asked him, I said, hey man, I like these dogs, but if money was not an issue, what male should I go out and get? And I'll never forget, he paused and he was like, I would get Homie. And I was like, damn. And he, I felt that because he had Homie's littermate brother, King Louis. And at the time, Louis was one of the dogs doing a lot of winning in Southern California at Glen Helen. And so I knew, like, he was familiar with the blood and that he was genuine when he said that he would go for Homie. And so it was just something about Homie when he hopped off the car, hopped out of the, Dave Palmaris truck, and he he gated him down and then back. He had a big, beautiful head. He was thick, but it was like his gait, his presence as he moved just blew me away. I was like, oh yeah, that's it right there. This is it right here. That's what I want,
Yeah.
And so it was like at first sight, I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And from there, like I was saying, I had a few bullies already. So the male that I had, I let him go. I phased him out of my program. And then I started focusing on Homie, and I started taking him to all my females. And if I didn't like the results with the female, with Homie, then that female was out of here, basically. You know what I mean? So because that's what I wanted, I started building around him. And it was really just his overall phenotype and his presence. He had a good pedigree too, which I learned more later on down the road, just how good it actually was and why it was doing what it was doing for me in terms of the productions. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, after Homie, you got Lock and Load, right? And so now and Homie won nationals, right?
Homie was the best champion in nationals 2011.
Wow. Okay, so 3 years after you started pushing Homie and after you got him, you won nationals with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Then here comes Lock and Load, right? And you grab him, you guys are campaigning him, and then now he produces probably the greatest bully to ever hit the dog game. I mean, just wow, a legend, Bistro. I want to talk about Bistro. Now, You told me one time he was a collab.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you explain that? Can we go to like
Yeah. Yeah.
who
Basically, because this was still so early in my breeding career, you know, I only had the few dogs that I had to complement these studs. I kind of did it backwards. Most people build their programs from their females, which I did to a degree, but because I was really kind of focused on my male and then his son Lock and Load, I didn't have a lot of females to already go breed them to, so I needed to look at some other yards that were producing, you know, good quality stuff. And one of those yards that I had identified as producing the type that I was after was My Style Bullies, out of San Diego, and he was rocking some you know, Hindu blood, and you know, some no Gotti line in his stuff, but it was producing real nice, short, compact, bully type dogs. And Lolo had already been Bistro's mom, Lolo. She had
Okay.
already been bred to Thing, Heartbreaker, uh, Hindu, some you know, prominent males in the game, prominent
Yeah.
studs who had produced, you know, they were producers at the time, and she threw down. Like, she was not that impressive of a phenotype, but man, her productions always exceeded herself, and I really liked what she produced. And so one time Noy hit me up from My Style Bullies, and we always used to talk. Like, he was just on my live the other day for like an hour. We were just catching up. But man, we always used to just get on there and talk dogs, talk about fishing and stuff. And he hit me up and he was like, "Yeah, bro, Lolo's in heat. I was thinking about breeding her to Nemesis." And I was like, "Yeah, that should probably be fire." You know, I was like, "But why don't you just take her to Lock and Load? He's 2 times Nemesis, and he's a much more, you know, compact dog like you like to produce, you know, My Style Bullies." And his style was pocket, and
Okay.
the mom was real pocket. And so basically, he was like, "Yeah, you know what? That might be cool." Lock and Load had never been bred at that point.
Oh, it's his
Yeah,
first breeding,
that was his very first breeding, bro.
producing national winners right out of the gate.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, bro. So that, you know, so basically, I he agreed to do the deal, but he was like, "Man, how much will you charge me for the stud fee?" And I threw him out like a low price, and just because I just wanted a female off of his dog, and I wanted my dog to have the recognition of, you know, the production that would become of this. And he was like, "Okay," you know, I think I told him like $1,000, bro. He's like, "Okay, my dogs go for anywhere from 4 to 5K. So give me $1,000 and I'll give you the first pick female." So
Okay.
I actually paid to breed to the mom.
Oh,
Yeah, I paid him $1,000, and then I got the rights to the first pick female. And so, you know, it was just on a hunch that it was really going to knock it out of the ballpark. And man, the puppies came, and he was like, "Bro, wait till you see these puppies." And the first day he sent me them, he was like, "Bro, these look different. Lolo always produced, but these ones look a little bit different." And he sent me a picture of Bistro. He goes, "This one looks like a bottlenose dolphin, the way his head goes up like this." And
oh,
then he was like, when they were 2 weeks old, he goes, you need to come see these puppies. They're crazy. He's like, but you're going to forget all about these females when you see the males. I was like, oh, shit. So I went over there, seen the puppies at 2 weeks. To this day, I've never seen any pup quite like Bistro, bro. And like I said, I had the rights to the female. And he was right. As soon as I saw the males, I was like, damn. They immediately caught my attention more than the female. And one in particular, which he hadn't been named yet, but it was Bistro. And I just remember I was like, I picked him up. I held him up like this. I was like, bro, let me get this one. Let me make him a legend. You know? Because I just was like drawn to that puppy. So I held him up. I said, this one became a legend. And he was like, it's not for sale. That's the craziest puppy Lolo has ever produced. And I was like, damn. So I ended up going, and a few weeks later, 6 weeks old, Bistro's, looking crazy. And I forget, it was probably like 8 weeks that I went back again and took my female. And she was a beautiful female. Her name was Shelly. But nothing quite like Bistro, bro. And so eventually he hit me up like later on, maybe 6 months, when Bistro was like 5.5 months old. And he was like, you still interested in buying Bistro? I was like, yeah, bro, you know what I mean? And so I already had his sister, and we worked out a deal where, I could get Bistro. And so I offered him, when he was 2 weeks, I offered him $10,000 on the spot.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, bro, let me get this dog. Let me make him a legend. I'll give you 10 racks for him. And he's like, yeah. I really wanted that dog. And I ended up, he was getting into the Frenchies. And so as he was kind of scaling more into his Frenchies, he was scaling out of the Bullies. And, I got to bring Bistro over. And then from there, the rest is history. We really, I made that promise come into fruition. I said, let me make him a legend. We did that shit.
You made him the legend
Yeah.
of all time. I mean, and even his son, the Bus, Bus national winner. I mean, I remember seeing him. Nubs had him at Qualcomm. I forgot the guy's name, Frankie something. He threw the show. But I saw this dog. I'm like, I heard the Bus this and the Bus that. And then when I actually saw him in person, it was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, wow. I want one of those right there. You know what I mean? Here, take this dog. Let me get that dog. And I'll tell you what, another one too, talking about productions off of Bistro. I remember the first show I went to was in Mexicali, and I saw Chumo, another Bistro production, and I was like, wow. It was just, I mean, wow. Your bloodline has its own signature. You know what I mean? It's we're talking dogs that just catch your eye, and the personality. That's true. I mean, my wife's right here on the side. Like Bullet, I look at Bullet every day. He's like the coolest dog. He's and if you guys don't know, I have a direct lock and load son. He's about 4 years old, and I love that dog. Oh, geez, do I love that dog. So now we go from Bistro, we go to the Bus, and then you go to Bandit and Badman. And that's where you finish. Well, that's where it's at.
Yeah, that's like where that's like where I'm at now is I'm already starting to kind of move on to some of, Bad Man's kids.
Okay.
Which is, 6th generation down from where I started.
Right. Right. And so you already got your up and coming studs. You got some dogs lined up where you're looking to campaign later down on the road.
Campaign wise, it's a good question. I haven't been doing a lot of showing lately.
Right.
But as far as quality offspring from Badman that Bando, Bando, he's not titled, but I'm really doing a lot of stuff with Badman and Bando, and they're giving me good quality stuff that I'm, starting to focus on their kids and Badman's kids. I have some nice ones that are, his oldest kids are like a little over a year. So they're all still nothing full grown yet.
Right.
But
okay.
A lot of quality, man. A lot of nice stuff that I've got here marinating.
Nice. So, I want to talk about dogs that are studs of yours, but they're not those 6 dogs, right? And you have tons of them. I mean, when I put my thoughts down on paper, I came up with like, I don't know, 12 within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know? So, we're going to play a little game here, right? And I want you to tell me who are the parents of these dogs, right? Ready? Okay. Dirt.
Derp is Lock and Load and Ninja.
Okay. Mr. Squish.
Mr. Squish is off of Bus and Grand Champion Blueberry.
Right on. Pyrex.
Pyrex is the littermate brother to Bandit, which is off of Bus bred to Lavish.
Nice. One more. Let me pick it out. Oh, here's one. Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde is from Bus bred to Grand Champion Candy, which Candy is also in, my pedigrees with a lot of the stuff that I'm working with. She goes, when I mentioned earlier that I started out with some females, I wanted to make sure they went well with Homie. Candy, Hyde's mom, goes back to a dog named Licorice. And Licorice was one of the first bullies that I had. And when I acquired Homie, I bred Homie to her. And the results from that were really nice. And I ended up taking her to Bistro. And as well as, in addition to Homie, like I started out with, but I later on down the line took her to Bistro, and that produced Candy. And Candy was the, sire to Grand Champion Hyde. She's the sire to Black Phoenix, and Black Phoenix is in the pedigree of Badman and Bando. I bred Candy to Phenom, the Dachshund, to produce Black Phoenix, and then I also bred Candy to Exhibit from Exhibit Blood, and that produced a dog named Smurf, and I bred Smurf to Bus, which produced Brown Sugar, and I took Brown Sugar to Black Phoenix, and that made Mocha and Cupcake. Mocha is Badman's mom, and then Cupcake is Bando's mom.
Yeah. Perfect. So now we're talking about breeding, right? It's a cool thing that you were hitting that, because now I want to talk about why were you breeding certain things, right? We talked about it one time when we touched you touched on Phenom, getting Dax in your bloodline. Why did you pick Phenom?
Phenom, I've seen a lot of nice phenotypes from him that, even though they were different than the blood I was already using, I saw them produce some of the types of head types that somewhat resembled Bistro. And a lot of times when I would take Bistro around, people in the beginning thought he was from Dax or even like Phenom blood. And so I noticed some descendants of Phenom that had more of the head type. And early on with my line, you know, we'd get really good conformation, really good structure. But in my productions, I wanted to see a more consistent, nice headpiece, nice muzzle. And so, you know, Dax was hitting the scene, had a lot of nice productions. I had not done much outcrossing, and I looked at my line. I was like, okay, we need to do a little bit of an outcross here. And so I actually bred to Louis V too. Took lock and load to a Louis V daughter, but I personally didn't like the results from that much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the dogs were cool, but they didn't move forward in the areas that I was looking to move forward in the way the selection from Phenom did with the Black Phoenix. So I ended up leaning into the Phenom blood a little bit more and breeding to him again. And that litter produced, I bred him to a different Bistro daughter, a dog named Nefarious. Bistro bred to some, Nefarious was off Bistro and some Rock and Ruby blood. And when I took that into Phenom, got a really nice litter, probably even better than the one from Candy. Okay. And I had basically one keeper male, one male that was like really nice. He went out to Barbados and he was a grand champion. And then I had two females off that they really produced nice for me. And one of them was Lavish, which is Badman's grandma.
Okay.
You know, I took Bus to Lavish to produce Bandit and Pyrex. And then another one was a dog named Totem. And Totem was Lavish's littermate's sister. And Totem I bred to Honcho, which was off Bus, bred to a Phenom daughter. So I actually bred to Phenom multiple times, and then I went out and acquired a Phenom daughter. So I had decided that, you know, I liked the results that I got and some of what I was seeing. So I leaned into that bloodline a little bit more in order to create different avenues in which I'd be able to tighten up on the blood without being focused on just one breeding as I went and doubled up. You get what I'm saying?
I totally get I can see it. I can see what you were doing there. Real smart, real strategic. So now let's start talking about your kennel. And we're talking about, because that's, I think, one thing that we see a lot of people just cleaning up kennels. But every day you when you guys are feeding. So you got a certain time when you feed, and we've heard about, you know, why you do it at that certain time of night, especially right now in the summer. How long did it take you to get dialed in to run like a real, like, you know, like a tight ship out there? Like how long did it take you and years to figure out, hey, I need to feed them at night. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, you know, to get it to the point where you have it now.
I mean, I'm always making adjustments to improve in whatever ways that I can. So when I noticed that I was getting the dogs, you know, were getting pestered by the bees and the flies, I was like, let's just feed them at night. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it didn't take me that long to figure that out. And then, you know, as far as like from when I first started even to now, I'm always looking for ways that I can streamline my operation, have my operation be more effective and efficient. So I have my program the way that we do it, but I'm always looking for ways that I can make it even better. So it's still a process, you know. I have a program that works, but I'm always looking at, all right, how can I make it even better? What can I do to enhance it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's constantly evolving. It's constantly getting better. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So it's even 15 years later, it's still a process in improving it and making it even better. And that's why I say the slogan, it's always a bull market.
Right.
You know, because bull market is an indicator of optimism and growth. And I'm always trying to grow and improve over here with the program.
Nice. Another area I want to talk about, right, is direction the bully community is going. And I know we've been really, you know, you've been involved a lot with the WBA and whatnot. How do you? Because I remember talking to you, and you would tell me about, you know, dog shows that there was tons of people that we're talking about some in the thousands. I remember seeing flyers where somebody was performing at a dog show. You know, I mean, somebody with like a well-known rapper most of the time. So you don't see that anymore. You just see people show up, compete, and then they're gone. And do you see this community getting back to being something as big as it was, or you think we're just too divided with so many registries?
That's the thing, bro. It's still big overall community, but the fact that it has been divided into so many registries, it really affects the attendance to the individual shows, you know. And in the beginning, yeah, you had Gotti Line, you had Razor's Edge, and there were a difference in the bloodlines. But at this point, the direction and derivatives of the American Bully are so, you know, vast. It's like you have American Bullies, you have exotic bullies, and all these different fads and trends that, you know, people are breeding. And it's like for each one, there's a registry that caters to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So will we ever see shows with attendance of 5,000 people again? I think it's possible with good, proper promotion. You know what I mean? The breed is still very popular worldwide.
Yeah.
It just is going to take, you know, some serious promotion of not doing it the conventional way. And really, you know, like you said, there used to be artists coming and doing music. There used to be car shows. There used to be tattoo, you know, conventions at the same time.
Right.
But straight up, sometimes it was just a dog show, and the dog show was massive. And this whole little subculture was all under one umbrella. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everyone was on the same page. Everyone was going, and they were on the same page in the sense that we were just going to go to the ABKC show. But the more that the different looks started to change, the more, and then the more like people were against this or against that, guys, instead of, you know, conforming to what they were wanting, they just went out and start their own registry.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that whole exotic movement, I mean, my understanding is they still have some pretty big shows.
Yeah, they do. They do, and that trips me out. You know,
You know what
but
I'm saying? But part of that is the whole dream that a lot of them are selling, that these dogs are always going to be going for a lot of money. You know what I mean?
right.
Playing to people's greed. So these guys go to the shows thinking that, you know, it's like a secure the bag. It's like an investment, trying to figure out what dog they're going to use or who they're going to stud their dog out to. You know what I'm saying? Like, when all the dog can do is stand on a table and you got to pull it up in a wagon, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're obviously not really there because, you know, you just love dogs so much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
they're looking at it as more of a business type of thing. And, you know,
Yeah.
but when you're breeding the dog out of the dog to where some of these dogs can't even move around, they can't function. So, you know, I think that's like a pyramid scheme. And eventually, you know, the house of cards collapses. There has to be a pet market for these dogs, man. It can't just be breeders selling to breeders, selling to breeders, selling the dream to other breeders of how much these dogs can sell for. Because there's nobody buying the pets, eventually someone can't sell their dogs. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean. That whole. I mean, look, guys. I'm an American bully guy. You know, I WBA and the ABKC. So exotics to me are I don't know. I think what the fuck are they doing? But that's I want to touch on one thing though. It's I myself am part of Bully Market University. It's helped me out in many aspects of my own personal life, but also, but I'm in the business program, and but it also helps me out in the fitness. I mean, I even started that page. Going to the gym. It hurts right now. A lot of soreness,
Yeah,
right? But that I mean, if anybody who's worked out knows that's how it's going to start, right?
sure.
So I mean,
Sore in a good way.
sore in a good way, exactly. Um, and so, hey, for that, I want to thank you publicly, you know, because you got me off my ass to do some stuff. And hey, the reason why the show's happening is because of Bully Market University, um, and those personal calls that we've had are one-on-ones. So I want you to touch on it. I want you to tell these guys. I mean, we talked about, look, this guy knows his stuff. He's won multiple times. He's accomplished much. He has dogs upon dogs upon dogs that are I mean, some people might just have one stud in their house. I mean, you have multiple. You've built something that's going to be here for a long time. So with that being said, I want you to talk to you guys about self-improvement, about what your program, Bully Market University, could offer to them.
Well, it's all about becoming the best versions of ourselves that we possibly can. And the mantra that it's always a bull market has always been part of our culture here in Bully Market, but it's such a profound culture and impactful way of thinking that, you know, I want to share it with other people. And so we looking to improve ourselves and elevate in all areas. And so business, financial, physical, mental, and be the best that we can be, or always in the pursuit of bettering. Because right now, the best that we could be is a sliding scale. Right now, your best is here, but the more you work your personal development, the more your best becomes. So that's a sliding scale, and really, it's never-ending process of
Right.
you know, developing yourself and then but once you have reached the point to where you have done enough things for yourself in those areas, it's time to show other people how to do it. It's time to share that with other people. And so, that's part of what it's about. At first, it was more just about the dog coaching and the breeding, the genetics. But like I said, it's always a bull market, and it applies to other areas of life. And I want to see people win in all these areas. And so that's why with the program, we really attack all the areas.
Nice. So this is available to anybody who wants to reach out to you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Perfect. So there you go, guys. Hit this man up, DM him, and talk to him about you're serious about improving yourself and improving everything around you that you're involved in, that you're responsible for, basically. Get with Robert. So, right?
Yeah, I mean, check the track record. If you want to build a breeding program, and you want a mentor or a coach, you should be looking at somebody and getting coached and mentored by somebody who has achieved the results that you are actually after. I see a lot of people, one of the main things I posted the other day of what's something that you're struggling with, and a bunch of breeders were on there commenting about they can't sell their puppies. They're having a hard time selling puppies. And so, a lot of them, they don't have the social following, and there's certain things that you could do to grow that. And so that's why, when I'm offering what I'm offering, it's like, this is somebody who's done a lot,
right,
in these spaces. You know what I mean? Breeding and marketing and things like that. But also the mindset that it took to even get this far has been the key to my success. And that's what a lot of people don't have right. And without the proper mindset, you're going to have a hard time doing anything well. It's the mindset is everything. So the mantra that it's always a bull market is something that, I look to share with people so they can adopt it and look at how they can, apply it to their life. Because we all going to hit challenges. You know what I'm saying? Life comes at you and throws you curveballs, and no matter how dialed in you are, like, you're going to get challenges, especially if you're breeding or starting a business or you have family, kids, wife. But the point of it being always a bull market is, no matter what, you bounce back and you work to come back stronger, to turn something that maybe necessarily was a loss, you turn a loss into a lesson, and then the lessons become blessings. There are no losses if you gain wisdom.
right.
So that the important thing is to, when you're in those moments that are tough, that you are struggling, to figure out what is there to be learned from the situation. That way you don't come out with just a loss, you come out with a lesson. And then with that wisdom, you can gain more.
Right. Learn and apply it, right?
Application is everything, man. There's so much information out there. We don't have an education problem. We have an application problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I know that firsthand. I mean, I just told you guys that when I started this, it motivated me to get my ass up and started going to the gym, start waking up early to do more work. It is what it is. And so if I were you guys want to self-improve, most definitely get a hit, DM Robert there, and he set you up.
Yeah, I mean, your level of success is never going to exceed your level of personal development.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The best investment that you can make is in yourself. You could invest in Bitcoin, and maybe that'll produce good return. But when Bitcoin goes back down, you're still the same motherfucker. You could invest in real estate and that could produce a good return. But if you didn't actually invest in yourself, you're still the same motherfucker. You just got real estate. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the real estate can go back down. But the more you self-invest, the more you are equipped to deal with any challenges that come your way. We look at like inflation. Inflation's crazy right now. The price of everything has went way up. And the best thing that you could do to combat inflation is increase your earning capabilities.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and you develop yourself to be able to provide more value. We get paid by, we're all equal, but we all don't provide equal amount of value. And we get paid by the value that we provide to the marketplace. So by investing in yourself, you become more valuable, especially when you actually, apply what you're investing in.
Those are some wise words. Those are some wise words.
They're all agreeing too.
So, yeah, I'm looking at right here the people that are commenting and whatnot. They're all agreeing with you. All agreeing.
I can't even see the comments. It looked to me like no one's been commenting for like the last 45 minutes.
Yeah. No, this thing has been going up.
No, they're saying Robert preached.
Oh shit!
100%.
I thought everybody was just listening for now.
Oh, like we're
that's cool.
Ourselves?
No.
No, people have been.
You've had up to 40 people commenting.
Oh yeah.
How many viewers? Mine's been at 35 for like the last 30 minutes.
7, it was 38. It's kind of fluctuating.
It went up in the 40s.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my chat got frozen up, but it's cool.
Yeah, they're commenting.
Yeah,
they're
commenting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And some are coming on, some people are tuning in. So, no, it's been good. It's been real good. And we're actually getting close to that hour time limit.
Yeah,
so,
do you saving the video or do you delete it after it's done?
I'm going to save it.
Okay, cool.
And so,
yeah,
no, I'm going to save it for, this goes in the archives.
That's what's up.
So today on my story, I threw it out there, and I said, you know what? Let me give the people a chance to talk to Robert. And so I got a few questions from some people they want to ask. So, ready?
Yep.
Okay. My boy Gabriel, he was asking, you like pocket bull? When is short too short? And I know the answer, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, for the show ring, there's a standard, and for the standard, they call for, unless they've changed it again recently, they call for 13 inches on females, I believe, and then 14 inches on the males.
Right.
And when I was getting going with my pockets, it was 15 to 17 for males.
Okay.
And it was actually Bus that prompted the ABKC to take a second look at that, because at the time we brought Bus out and he was a little bit under the height.
Okay.
And senior judge Rolando Mata was basically like, there's no way that we could fault this dog for being a half inch under this 15 inches. He is the epitome of what a pocket bully should look like. And he still possessed all the characteristics and breed type. So for the people that are interested in going even less than the standard that they call for now, the important part is that you're still maintaining overall breed type. You know what I mean? It becomes to a point where the smaller you get, the more that dog is getting into an area where it's lacking in breed type. The dog should have a big bone, wide rib cage, a massive head. It should be able to move with power and confidence. These are all things that are part of the standard. You know what I'm saying? And so as you start getting into smaller dogs and they've got smaller rib cages, smaller heads, and can't move as well, you're starting to get into, you know, an animal that lacks in breed type. So I think that, you know, I personally have a couple of dogs that are a little bit below, you know what I mean? The recommended standard. But those are just like the ones that I just use for breeding. And I breed them accordingly to what I think that they need. If one's already getting a little bit smaller in size, then I'll add another male that I think might help maintain a little bit larger size without going up over into like a standard. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Nice. And we're going to do one more question. This comes from another judge, Mr. George Luna. And he says, are you a type or structure? What do you prefer?
Well, I mean, when it comes to structure, the structure is a component of the breed type. And so if we're just talking about type, then you know, type and breed type can be two different things. But I think that if the dog is lacking in structure in so many areas, it would be as equal of a flaw if the dog is lacking in type in so many areas. You know what I'm saying? And so if you have an animal that, let's say, it's got immaculate structure, but it's lacking in type. It doesn't look like an American Bully. It looks like an Amstaff.
Okay.
You know? Then that is a flaw. Just like if the dog was a bona fide American Bully with a big, massive head and big bone and thick body, but it's got high rear and straight in the stifles.
Yeah.
You know, both of these things are flaws. But when it comes down to which one is more of a concern, it's you know, it's tough to say really, because structure is important. You want to maintain the structure, and you can get there by using a dog that might not be the most typey dog, and by breeding up. And I started out with structurally sound dogs, and I would get productions that were sometimes a little bit lacking in the bullier traits that we're after. So I went and I bred to some dogs that were a little bit more overdone, a little bit more typey in the bully, you know what I mean? Not necessarily breed type, but typey in the sense that they're very bully, right? You know, breed type encompasses a lot of different elements, including the movement, the silhouette, and the expression and things like that. So I take into account both to answer the question. You know, the structure is very important, as is the type. If you're producing a breed, a purebred dog, then you want it to look like the breed that you're after.
Right.
And at the same time, you want it to be a well put together specimen of the breed that you're after. And once you know structure, you can really start to see, like, you know, you look at whole other species, let alone breeds, and you can see, oh, wow, look at the shoulder setup on that rhinoceros right there. Got a good front assembly, you know.
Right.
And you know, other animals will have you know, good structure too. A lot of times it's like those other species and other animals, and even other like mixed breed dogs, a lot of times they'll have superior structure to even purebred, because a dog out that's a stray in the streets, it had to be at least built a certain way to even survive out there.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so it's like able to get around and do something. But you look at the selective breeding that some of these guys are doing, and they would never make it out and about on their own. Natural selection would take place, and those dogs would die out. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see even some stray mutts that have impressive structure. Like, go to Mexico and you'll see them. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there. I'm like, wow, look at that guy. For a little, you know, mutt running around, that dude's got some nice structure and movement. But that's why he's able to still be out there making it in life, you know? So yeah, it's very, both are very important when you are breeding a pure breed and you want to produce the proper type, but it should always be within a you know, conforming to the structural standard that we're looking for. And in this case, you know, the dog should have a certain silhouette, which indicates the structure that it should have. And then it should have strong, powerful movement, which if the dog is not built right, then it's going to lack that power and the reach and the drive.
Okay. That all makes sense. That makes perfect sense. You know? So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be wrapping this up. Robert, you got anything you want to add?
No, man, I appreciate you having me on, being the first guest. I'm excited to see where you take it. You know, I'm glad to have you in on the program and just seeing you implementing a lot of the things that we discuss, and I'm just excited to see it grow for you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. And you know, I got like 15 people lined up. I got all the way to like the beginning of November.
Perfect. And it's gonna snowball. The more people see them, the more they're gonna want to come on there, just to have their, you know, to have a word on your show. And then someone might want to hear, you know, they might have heard what I said and decide, hey, I need to come on here, and maybe they need to go against some of what I said. Maybe they do the exotic thing and they gotta add their 2 cents, which is cool. You know, it's good to have different opinions on there. And so, you know, I'm excited to see where it goes for you.
Right on. Appreciate that. Well, guys, I really do. I was just thinking about that. I really do. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close this up. I appreciate it, Robert, from the Bully Market, one of the greatest breeders in our community. It was an honor interviewing you for our first show, episode 1, Bullies and the Breeders.
My pleasure.
Thank you,
brother. My pleasure. Salute all you guys. It's always a bull market. Let's go.
There you go. Let's go.